Doop, 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 doop. All right then. Okay, I did fill up my water. So normally, I start these streams with a ditty, a little song and dance. But I'm just gonna get right into it right now because I'm gonna be doing something a little different. I've not made a video like this that's really like a straight up kind of response because I don't really have much things to be responding to because no one really watches me, but that's okay. I don't care if 1,000 people are watching me or -2. I'm here saying whatever I'm gonna say, whenever I'm gonna say it. So this stream here is directly gonna be talking about this little channel called the Vanguard that I watch pretty regularly, and this is kind of to those folk. I'm not sure if they're gonna see this. Not sure if they ever will. But and normally you'd grab something to like get a little clip going, or like. But the thing is, the thing I'm responding to here isn't really any little clip. It's a lot of. It's a response here to some streams. So Mr. Zach and Mr. Gavin. See, the reason I'm going to talk about this is because we need to have... And if you're watching this and you don't know who the Vanguard is, they're a little YouTube channel. And they do coverage of, political commentary, pretty much. And on a much smaller scale. And they're kind of the back end of this little... there are people who there are like the mainstream media outlets who are just totally corrupt. And there's this kind of chain of coverage on the internet, and where people kind of are reacting to each other. People react to what the mainstream news media has to say because really it's not so much news in so much that it's just propaganda and agendas being pushed. And so we need people to we have people on the internet out there telling you what these people said and reacting to them and being, this is where they got it wrong, this is how they're embarrassing, or this is what's actually happening. And then we got people from that reacting to people who said that, and there's feuds, and there's drama, and there's all sorts and kinds of excitement. But the Vanguard is a very quaint little nice channel that I adore. I give they're one of two people that two channels that I donate to on Patreon. And it's because, I feel they deserve support because they're trying, and they've been trying to do some really good, honest discussion. And that's what we really need here in this space, is honest discussion. And I love these guys. See, I love Zach and Gavin. Well, I love what they have to say. To say you love somebody, I mean, you don't fucking know somebody, but I love what they have to say. There's a lot of people out there. I absolutely love what they have to say, and I love what the Vanguard has to say and what they try and do. However, there's 2 interviews they conducted recently that I didn't make me so excited. And see, I get a lot of what they're trying to do because there is a void of entertainment in this space. And that's part of what I'm trying to actually run for office because I just need to stop watching and be a part of this moment, because that's what's going on right now, is this big ass moment, and we're all trying to wrap our heads around it and make our points, and everyone's kind of confused about a lot of things. Everybody. Not one person here isn't confused about what's going on a little bit, Everyone who tells you they know exactly what the fuck is going on, that's a lie. And but most people don't see that in themselves and go, well, I'm not going to always know what's going on, and I'm not going to always have things right, and I might be not looking at this from the most constructive angle possible. And if that's what you're trying to do in politics, is be constructive and actually get things done and create, this momentum in a positive way, which is what I truly believe the Vanguard is trying to do, because they are very policy focused. Well, in a sense, that's the thing. All right. I'm not going to preface too much more, because if you want to know who the Vanguard is more, you can go out and look at them, and you know who they are. I'm going to treat this now as if I'm just kind of responding to these interviews, these live streams, and one of them was just today. That's why it's very much on my mind, because I just watched it, and it was with Aaron Mate, who is a journalist, who they had on because they know and understand that he is a good faith actor who's actually one of the few people out there doing real work, and gets bashed on and shit on by pretty much everybody, but he still does what he believes. And they're still, they see that. The Vanguard sees that, and it's why they're able to talk to him. And, the other one is Brianna Joy Gray. And so these two interviews they did, the Brianna one was about a week ago, I think. Both these people, Aaron Mate and Brianna Joy Gray, all right, Zach, Gavin, I know you're afraid, okay? And I know what you're afraid of. I do. I know why you're so terrified, because, well, first of all, everyone is pretty much terrified. But I know what you're terrified of. I know that when the stream got to talking about Jackson Hinkle, see, I know you guys are afraid. And I know it's not actually that you're afraid to debate Hinkle, to debate Jackson. What you're really afraid of is what could that help, how could that help his cause somehow possibly if we platform him? And it's so, the Vanguard has maintained a very nuanced level of looking at things, and it's not I would not describe the Vanguard as a cancel culture, behemoth. That's not really what the ideas are focused around. The ideas of the Vanguard are very focused on championing just actual, real issues that we all care about, like healthcare and like war and like all this stuff, all the special interests that run our life. And they have their own perspectives. Their own perspectives aren't the same as mine. They're not the same as, anybody you could pluck on the street. Everybody's got different views. But they even cited, in the end of the stream, that they probably agree with Jackson Hinkle like on 60% of the things. Yes! That's the point. That's the point. And I get it. It's the same thing, with people's views on, people like the Vanguard's views on, like Tucker or Marjorie. Marjorie Taylor Brown shit. But, and Jackson Hinkle. And all these people, Jackson Hinkle, something I think I watched like one of his videos like 7 months ago. And I was like, oh, all right. But I have all the people I need to get my information. Because there's just so much people out there. And, it takes a long time to sift through and be able to see someone's consistency or lack thereof. And in fact, see, here's the thing. Every single person is inconsistent. Now, some people might be way more, and obviously just like all the time not even believe in the things they're saying, and just continually shifting and not even there's no principle. But everybody contradicts themselves. I do, and so does the Vanguard. God, like in the interview so many times, and there's the thing, like Gavin he's not doesn't have a monopoly on this. Everybody does it, but so many times just saying things, and it's like you're literally just and all it always have to do with what he's in reference to something he said or something he's claiming not to say. Like, I never did this. I never said that. I never. And there's this clear like fear, and it's everywhere. You can see it in everybody. But I understand it because, see, it can be seen easily. It's so easily seen, and that's what, like, when Aaron was like, well, have you asked Jackson Heem to be on? If the answer is no, why didn't you just say no? I would like to know the answer to that question. But Zach, or Gavin, I mean, saying, I don't see why that's relevant, when you're the one who did bring up Hinkle. And it's the delayed realization of what you actually, it's convenient for someone to bring in to say, oh, well, now we're going to talk about this. Well, that's how conversations go. They spring off, and you should have just said no, and I would have been like, okay, well, that's interesting. And I get that's the thing. You guys don't want to have him on because you don't want to. You have the same idea about like Tucker, where it's like you don't want to, not that Tucker would, and the other, I guess that'd be inverse, could it be like going on Tucker versus having Tucker on you, on you. I guess, I bet Tucker would like to be on you. I don't know what kind of joke that was. Could be read a couple different ways. But, oh, shit. Ryan Grams? Sorry, I missed your comment 9 minutes ago. You know what, Ryan Grams? It's funny, your name's almost Ryan Grimm, who's another good faith actor who is in this media space that pisses off a lot of people, including myself sometimes, from now and then. But Ryan Grams, oh, thank you for tuning in. I so appreciate it. Sorry I didn't see your comment till just now. Oh shit! And look at the Careless Links back in action. What's up? Shout out to the part of Canada that we call the United States. I don't even believe I'm just saying things, okay? That was like a non-statement. I'm talking about Alaska, okay? I don't know what I'm fucking. So yeah, I get your fear, okay? Because you're afraid of what is actually growing, and there is the right now the movement of the world is on the right in a way, but that's the thing, it's a new version of what we call politics, and it always is. Every time, the neoliberals were the first neoliberals, and okay. I understand, okay? I understand. The right now, and the people at Marjorie Taylor Brown shit. Fucking, maybe I should say green shit. I don't know, that's kind of funnier. But there's this theocratic rise. And you can literally, I saw a clip like yesterday of an old, let me see if I can pull up some of my history. It's like this old, who was it? Like from the 80s. It was during Reagan. And this guy's calling out the rise of like theocracy in terms of like, that's the thing. That's the only, that's all that there is right now. Other than this thing that Gavin and Zach are so obsessed with trying to call out Aaron Mate and Brianna Joy Gray for coming to, which is this populist, they call it populist right-left movement. They literally said populist right-left movement. That, if you believe in what those words actually say, is it not an oxymoron? Are you not to the point already where you realize that it doesn't matter what the fuck the right or left word is? It's just fucking people. That's all it is, man. That's why this is an independent campaign. Because we're beyond that, man. We don't know how beyond it we are. Like, fucking the 60s, man. That's when the parties switched pretty much with LBJ. The FDR was a Democrat, passed the New Deal under the Democrats, who were at the time still the Southern Dixiecrats. That's where LBJ came from, and that's his faction of the conservative Democratic Party. That's what it was. And suddenly, but guess what? The Republicans, who were the party of Lincoln, got corrupt. And not that the Democrats weren't corrupt too. They were just like, now, see, the fucking Democrats started doing things that were good. You know why? Because they were the only other party. The Republicans were too fucking caught up with Herbert Hoover and all those other fuckers. The Democrats were the only other lane. And lo and behold, Mr. FDR, who has polio and has some empathy for the world, comes along and turns the Democratic Party into the party of progress and Social Security and a minimum wage, and was soon to be the party of getting a second Bill of Economic Rights passed until fucking he died, and Harry fucking Truman, replacement of the fucking real president we all would be praising right now if he was there, Henry Wallace. God, I know I sound like a fucking madman right now, okay? I know. But it's all there. So that's what becomes the Democratic Party. And then guess what? It makes sense that the younger people coming out, even though Kennedy was like, his father was literally, you know, like had some really crazy, was not near what what the 60s would become in terms of policy and cultural, you know, shit. But the JFKs, the young people, were suddenly like, oh, look at all these like great things the Democratic Party are doing. It's time we, like, that clearly evolves into expanding rights for civil rights and expanding civil rights and expanding all more types of shit, like fucking healthcare. Okay, I'm not claiming that JFK fucking wanted Medicare for all. Maybe he did though. I don't know what JFK felt about healthcare. Maybe he literally, I know fucking Martin Luther King was he wanted fucking healthcare for everybody. Actually, that's a true fact. Actually. But of course he was killed before he could be a champion of any of those goals. Well, he already was. But the parties don't, the left, the right, you know it. I know you already know it. That's the thing. You do know how not real the party is. It's a thing. The Democrats suddenly became the left party, the progressive party, because that's what the New Deal era fucking called for. And in that, the fucking, like, the debate back then wasn't even, you know, oh, there was no do nothing. It was like, which party is going to be doing more for us? Because that's the expectation. That was the era. Now we're in the neoliberal era, which is the opposite. The inverse, pretty much. Not really. Anything can be a fucking inverse if you describe it. Look, do you like how I say shit and then just say, oh yeah, well, oh yeah. See, Gavin was saying some shit that was like, he'll say it, and it's so clearly just not true. And it's about, like, himself, like, he's trying to be like, no, you, like, Aaron Mate, you know Aaron Mate, and you know Brown Joy Gray is on the side of fucking people. It's why you're able to talk to them. But you talk to them as if they were people that you were afraid to bring on. And that's the thing, you're like, oh, I don't want to bring Jackson Hinkle on because I don't want to spread his, you know, shit. Not only is he already, you know, doing well on his own, and it doesn't have anything to do with you guys or any other person. It's already there. It's like how Tucker, everyone's like, don't go on Tucker's show. He's already there. He's already the number. You're not going to change it by not going. You're only going to allow the vacuum to be purely filled by people like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Because when you do that, when you leave the void for that, that's how you get to the point where the only people who happen to be, like, on a correct issue will be on the fucking right. Like, all the people voting for us and, like, Marjorie voting against us supporting the Ukraine proxy war. Sure, yes, 100%. That doesn't mean anything. You have to attack the issue at hand and see beyond the person for the issue. You have to. And you know this already because you haven't been the cancel culturing, you know, just like that's not the only thing you guys care about. In fact, you guys do really care about getting substantive change for the people. And what's happening is happening. You can't change it by shaming someone else for engaging. And okay, here's now we get to the specific of what actually was the debate about. And this general, or no, this former colonel, who, it's so, I don't know. It saddens me that the point is being missed, or a new point, a point that doesn't matter is being created. And it's not that it doesn't matter, okay? But all it is, at the end of the day, what it came down to was a distinction in whether or not you thought that in the interview Aaron had with the colonel that he pushed back significantly enough, or that's the thing. What you don't say is if you didn't push back, you wanted him to like kick him off the show pretty much for saying that, even though he responded to the colonel after talking about the civilian casualties. He said, like, you can't. That's the thing. You can feel it in the tone, in the animosity. I don't want to say this to be, no, say everything I say is too strong. But you have to fucking say strong thing. That's how it ends up that Gavin and them, and Aaron as well, and everybody else, will say a hyperbolic thing, and they're like, well, I didn't really mean that, and it's all fucking pointless. We already know. That's the thing. If you know that Jackson Hinkle agrees with you on 60% of issues. See, I'm not even saying that you're afraid to debate him, and I believe that. I believe that you actually would. That's what I'm saying. I want you to do it because it's obvious to talk to people. It's obvious. That's it. It's obvious to just talk to people, and you can't just not talk to somebody because you believe they're wrong about a bunch of shit. You can't. But even you said you agree with them on 60% of issues. That's the whole point of all this stuff, is that, yes, like, fucking over 60% of Republican voters have. This is the whole, like, crux of where the movement's been going and where we are right now, and where this Kalinsky and all this shit is fucking reciting the facts of how the populace, the people, regardless of what corrupt party you're going for or care to vote for, the people understand that they need health care and they don't want to go to war, and that education should be fucking not something you have to fucking go into 6 figures of debt to do. All these things. Like, I don't even know if those are the 60% of things that Hinkle agrees on, but I'd assume it would be. I would assume. And so that's the entire purpose of this project that everyone's trying to do. And Brown and Joy Gray Brown and Joy Gray and Aaron Mate have it down, in my opinion. And that's my opinion, okay? So you don't have to agree with it. But you have to understand the moment. You have to understand, even if you are totally opposed to what you see as silly. Like someone on the right who so much of their motivation and passion is because of just anti-wokeness. I get why that's annoying. I really do, because there is so much more than that. At the same time, you focusing on that, that is you making it about wokeness and nothing that actually matters. And like Aaron was saying in the interview, when you bring up Jackson Hinkle, there you are, doing exactly what you say apparently you don't want to do, is make it about him. If you're going to talk about that and anything, and you're like, it's like, oh, well, I shouldn't have brought in Jackson, we were just talking about this. It's all relative. And to act like it's not, and that wasn't the conversation, that it didn't have to do with this idea of, and I get it's what you guys do. And in fact, you guys, the Vanguard, keep doing exactly what you're doing, how you do it. You guys can only do what you do, and you're really fucking good at it. I love what you guys do. And even these live streams with Brianna and with Aaron, oh my God, I've never been more annoyed and screaming at the smugness, especially in the Aaron one, of the Vanguard, man. And that's the thing. I don't want to. That was more Gavin, I'd say, than Zach. But it's. I don't know. It's not. There could have been just. You guys are nuanced, but there's a nuance that you guys haven't gotten to yet. And maybe, I don't know, it's not for me to say whether someone has the correct level of some shit, okay? But the whole point of where you guys are at, the whole area of talking points that the Vanguard espouses is based on this nuance of actually trying to talk about the real issues and real policies and supporting people who support those policies. But in that, it's getting lost. It's getting lost. Damn it, I clicked a couple things and my train of thought bounced. Probably could see it happen. It's getting lost because it's so futile. It's so damn futile to just like what was the point? You know you already agree. You, in fact, with Aaron Mate and Brown Joy Gray, you agree with them fucking so much, okay? And it's you know, it was still like a good conversation to have rather than not. And you know, I'm here talking about it right now because of the stream. So, you know, couldn't have gone any other way than how it did. That's all things that have happened in the past. And that shit's the past, even though it's a couple hours ago. It's already, so it's just so bad. That's the thing. You can tell like the like inner fury at Aaron, and that's real, and a little bit with Brianna too, where it's like they really believe that what Aaron's doing, and what Brianna's doing, by accurately and just correctly praising, pointing out when fucking somebody on the other side of the supposed aisle, this aisle that we make up every day to say it. It's only fucking true because you say it is, because we say it is. But like the FBI shit, you know, I 2 weeks before they raided Mar-a-Lago, I made a whole video here about me just talking about how horrible the FBI is and how I can't stand. And I've learned to not be able to stand this because you have to learn about the world. And you guys know already about all this stuff. I know you already do. You know about the almost Herald Square bomber. You know about what happened here in Michigan with the FBI. And what happens everywhere. And they're not a good organization. They shouldn't exist in the capacity they do. Some people think we should just get rid of them. Some people think we should defund them. I think we should break them up like a bank and make them public. That's a whole nother issue. But it happens to be the truth. It just is the truth. That the bias right now, it used to not be the same. See, it used to be the opposite. It's how little it matters who it is right now. The bias used to be that the left was the enemy of the FBI, and they're the ones questioning everything, and the right was the ones who, the conservative right was very, you know, this is a trusted institution of the founding fathers would have wanted it, even though it was only created in the 20s or 1918-ish area or whatever. Y'all should watch J. Edgar. It's a good movie. Goes into all that. But we happen to be where we are right now. And the moment where we are is that the FBI raided Trump's house. And now, a good chunk, if not more than half of the populace is like, fuck the FBI! Fuck the FBI! And it's like, yes, I agree with that. I do. It might not be for all the same reasons as someone else. But you have to understand, and you know it already, I know you understand this, that everybody has different reasons for why they agree with something. Different reasons. People have different reasons for why they voted for Trump or why they voted for Biden or why they didn't vote at all. Or why they voted for Jill Stein. You know, everyone has their reasons. And where if you really believe in all the stuff you say, which I know you do, that everybody deserves healthcare, everybody deserves, an unrigged economy to live in, then you believe that everybody's equal, and you do. You believe that everybody deserves compassion and love in the same way. I mean, maybe you don't. I shouldn't be speaking for you guys. But all these policies that we're trying to do is out of compassion for the human fucking experience. That's what it is. And we don't have a government that runs like that anywhere close. The FBI is one of the most inhumane things that this government has. And you can't get mad at people for saying that it's correct that the FBI is bad and that, hey, this moment could be used for something positive. Do you see how this makes sense in context where the Democrats were the slaveholders, And by the time, imagine if the New Deal was coming around and everyone's like, stop talking to them. They're Democrats. They're the slaveholders. They're fucking the conservative, the Dixiecrats. What are you doing? All right, well, if everybody did that, we wouldn't get the fucking New Deal, would we? Wouldn't have gotten Henry Wallace. Someone who just fucking is able to talk to people, regardless of what they believe. And it's a hard thing to do. It's not easy, I sympathize with the emotions, being heightened during an interview with, Aaron and Brianna, especially the one with Aaron. It's it's just so embarrassing, man. It's so embarrassing. And I wasn't embarrassed for Aaron. The only way I was embarrassed for Aaron was in the sense that, he deserved better. And, you guys are doing the best you can do. You guys are, you guys self-awarely, I don't know if that's a word, but you guys self-awarely, understand that you're just, you guys are the you do a lot of good drama, shit talk. And it's not all, for nothing. And that's the thing. I get it. I get that I don't get it, okay? There's no fucking fun in this shit, is there? It's that's one of the reasons I, and probably you guys, probably a lot of people started, watching somebody like Kyle Kalinske, is because he actually somehow, in all this mess of depressing shit, Kyle is somehow able to have a positive sense of humor about it. That isn't just laughing at someone. And, it's okay to laugh at some people sometimes. But, I try, it's much more healthy to be able to laugh at yourself. And when you see the world and yourself as one in the same fucking thing in a moment, it's easy to laugh because it's all absurd. And so that kind of entertainment is where I'm trying to make this political scene entertaining on that level of just recognizing the absurdity. And, you guys do a good job at that still, in a sense, Jon Stewart's the king of that. But, God, when you guys are laughing at Aaron trying, that's the thing. I understand how you saw it. I do. But how you saw Aaron is not how Aaron saw himself, and how I saw, and many people saw him in that moment. It seemed so. You guys weren't getting it. You guys weren't getting the nuance. There's another coming. It's already here, but there's this level of nuance to the scene we're in that soon will be just what it is. But right now, it's still in this process of coming together, and no one really knows what the fuck how it's gonna turn out. I certainly don't know the fucking future. I don't have a crystal ball. Kyle does, but I don't. I can't see into the future. But you can see what's happening. And you guys are a bit in denial. There's some people out there who are a bit in denial and allow that to be... You're focusing on the wrong thing. The point you're creating isn't that good of a point. It's not that Both of the debate, and the Brianna one actually I enjoyed more because it was like really good. I think just a discussion to have, and so was this one for different reasons, but actually some same reasons, but still like they see something. Aaron sees something. Brianna sees something that I see. Okay, and it's not this. It's not. Ooh, here's like a thing I can latch myself onto. Now, that's a framing way of looking at it, and to ignore that thing completely would be disingenuous to say that there's no incentive by anyone to like be a part of something like oh, I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon. But that's not how I see what's happening right now, and Brianna and how Aaron see it is I get it. I feel what they're trying to do. I do, because kicking and screaming about what's happening isn't going to help. Every year for the last every year, there's shit you can kick and scream about. All the time. And now we have all these disagreements on the left and the right and all the infighting, and the Vanguard is someone who acknowledges that. Zach and Gavin all the time talk about the infighting and trying to, heal these things. And that's the thing, having the discussion with Aaron and having the discussion with Brianna, and that leading to Brianna and talking to Jank Uger. It's like it actually is good. And I massive credit for just, talking to him. And I do believe when you're saying like what's, you think we're afraid to debate Jackson Hinkle? Like we debated Aaron Mate. I understand. Yes, Aaron Mate is like a much more harder debate, I would think, than Hinkle, which is why it's so weird that you guys wouldn't want to do it with Hinkle. And it's like, we wouldn't want to have that, like, useless discussion. This was like a pretty useless discussion with Aaron because it didn't help but do anything but help this conversation and expose itself. It didn't, like, there's no... Aaron and Brianna are somebody they're people who are afraid as well. They're also really afraid. But they're not afraid of the populace like splitting or something. And maybe it will, because it's the thing. All this scare shit, fascism, is a real fucking thing that's going on. And went on, and there was movement for it, but we already have fascist elements of our fucking government. They're just not open. We just have open fascists now. So it's like, there's no, in my eyes, there's no discernible difference. If you can look at every fucking thing in a lens of it's so... Marjorie Taylor Greene, Barack Obama, and this Colonel guy. All of them, all of them, and actually the Colonel and the Colonel and Obama, they are more... I mean, you can say that Marjorie Taylor Greene's an open fascist, right? But Obama and this Colonel guy are much more successful fascists than them. And that's not to me saying, whoa, I still think that Obama was the least-ish shitty president of my lifetime, but his drone strikes killed 90% of people. No fucking habeas corpus. That's just one thing. And he was the one who put kids in the cage as well. In the fucking article from Trump had his kid in the cage from 2014. All these things that are afraid of the right. They're afraid of the right coming to power and becoming fascist and doing all these terrible things that the right is going to do. Guess what? They're already doing it. And it doesn't matter who you fucking say, just because you're giving them more power by believing that when they say this shit, it's like more meaningful than when okay, I'm kind of spewing off a little bit. It's so... You just have to be able to talk to people and to be able to see, I'm sure a lot of people around our age have issues talking to our parents about political issues, right? In different ways. because they're of a completely different generation. In some cases, people, they're completely different views altogether. But even the ones where they align more, it's still a difference. And there's still things that you're like, oh, like why I can't talk to you right now. I understand, I do. But you still have to, you can't shame someone for wanting to do that. You can't be mad at someone for being strong enough to talk to people who are difficult. You know? Like this Colonel guy didn't want to debate the fucking issue. He literally said, I'll debate it with somebody else. He said that, and like, you know, I watched the clip too when you guys played it of Aaron talking to the guy, and I don't know, the outrage you guys have over it is just so, it's just too much, man. It's not accurate. It's not, it doesn't deserve the level of outrage as, you know, if he did say something to push back. He did, and decided to let the interview keep going because he had, his interview had a purpose other than, just like your guys' had an interview with a purpose to, you know, talk about shit. He had one too, okay? And like, what are you, it's just so bizarre. It's so bizarre. All right. I have some more thoughts, but let me gather them for a second. Maybe. Let's see if my brain gathers them. Wait, want to see something funny? So my feet are fucking like outstretching and shit because I got weird genetic shit going on, but like I gotta keep on getting new socks because fucking I keep tearing holes in them. It'll be like literally less than 2 weeks before I have a hole in my sock. So you want to see like the most horrible hole in a sock you've ever seen, just for fun? That's right. Quentin Tarantino, eat your heart out. That wasn't quite right, was it? There it is. That's not, I gotta practice the chorus. Man, that song's the title of the stream today. Alright, I'm actually gonna respond to this guy's comment in writing. because I don't do that enough, and that's this one's on Facebook. So. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate it, Ryan. Probably shouldn't dox it out loud on the stream, I suppose. Probably should just say the first name if the person has a last name, but who knows? Who knows? I'll learn about all this shit, you know. That's the thing. None of us are getting, you know, this shit all right 100%. Neither is Aaron Mate, neither is Brianna Joy Gray. I'll say that. I don't agree with them all the time, you see. I don't agree with anybody all the time. But it doesn't make it like, you can't be so obsessed with the disagreement. You can't. Especially when the disagreement is on an end that you like. Everybody is a fucking giant painting, a giant fucking song of fucking ideas, and not everyone you vibe with. That's every person, man. I bet even Zach and Gavin, I bet you guys disagree on shit. I know you do. I've seen you guys debate some things before. It's so just trivial. It's trivial, man. I 100%, and you 100%, and I'm talking to you, whoever that is who's watching, you will 100%, it's not even a question, you will, in the future, you will say something that you regret. You also 100%, you will regret not saying something. There will be something you wish you would have said. That's everybody. And it's so just silly to like laugh at this guy who you're clearly not understanding where he's coming from. He's not blind to what you guys are seeing at all. In fact, you guys are blind to the just in the interview. You guys were blind to what is the point of what you guys are going on about it? Other than that, you shouldn't. It's the thing. You're afraid. You're afraid of this thing growing, this right thing of this. You called it the populist right-left. Okay, just call it the populace, because that's what's happening. And the people you're describing that he's supporting, like Jackson Hinkle, they already are doing well on their own. Okay, and it's what's happening. You can't just ignore it and pretend like. And you guys don't ignore it actually at all. You guys do the opposite of ignore it. You look at it in a very pointed way. But it's not always the most constructive, at least in these last two cases. Because Aaron and Brianna right now are doing, like, if there's a God, they're doing his work. Because you can't, that's the thing, and they have been. Even if they do make a mistake, and even if Aaron were to, like, not have, you know, stood up to somebody really well or whatever, okay. Like, that's disappointing. But also, these people are real human beings. And you can't just treat every interview like this one. Like the one you guys had on there where it's just da 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 da. And you said that at one point. It's like so cringy. It's so... A lot of people think I'm cringy for watching the Vanguard, but I haven't. There's so much I love what you guys do, but that was like the most cringiest. I could not stand it. But I'm still donating your all Patreon. I'm not unsubbing or anything. Just trying to relay some thoughts, man. They are like the people on this populace who are right-leaning because they're anti-wokeness, right? That's such a, you define them that way. You make them that way only when you define it. You allow it to be a right thing if you say it is so. And say that what Brianna and Aaron are doing are only helping to bolster and to coddle up to this. There is no person that's like, I'm the Mr. Right and I'm the Mr. Left, and everybody like bows to them. Because Trump isn't even that. Trump's a person who who is just you know, his policies are all right leaning, but he's also a fucking just narcissist. And like 12 years ago, he said that it was a crime that that we don't have every. He said that like something along the lines of like, you know, it is unforgivable that we don't have a public healthcare system like every other states. You can find a quote where Trump said that like not even 2 decades ago. Okay, and you have to understand the malleableness of all people, not just the people in office, but the people on the ground. That's all people. They're all the same. And it's not whether or not you can fucking define somebody as something forever. Because Brianna Joy Gray and Aaron Mate going to talk to these people, the only thing it could do is help them to maybe be a little more nuanced and be in the mindset of people like you and me. Not doing that just allows for the vacuum to only be filled by the most extreme people who are the most crazy and not sensible. You can't make them not exist. You can only do what you can yourself. And that's what Aaron and Brianna do. And they take all the shit for it. And they're so fucking like brave because of this shit. It's not like the same level of brave as fucking, you know, people don't want to acknowledge the fucking fears they have of all this, you know. Everyone's saying shit about them, and everyone, man, they don't deserve all this shit talking, man. They deserve to be fucking, they're leaders, man. Brianna Joy Gray is such a real fucking leader. And you guys, you know, are, you're not trying to you know, do what Brianna's doing. You're not trying to do what Aaron's trying to do. You're trying to do what you're trying to do. And I'm going to continue to only respect that. The same way I respect all human beings, regardless of what family household they happen to be born into and what cable news network they happen to be watching when they were put in front of it, and what religion, whether horrible or not, they happen to be bred into. Nobody chooses where they fucking go in life until they decide they're choosing and fool themselves into thinking that they have some greater power, especially when it's not about that, man. It's not about the power. And even if it was, Tucker and Hickelson? Jackson Hinkle? Yeah, Hinkelberg? Just let it go, man. And you should talk to him. You should, it makes me think you don't have credibility when asked a straight up question, regardless if you think it's going off topic or not, regardless if you think that even if you did bring up his name, you know, if you can't just answer him when he asks, you know, like, have you guys asked Jackson Hinkle to come on? If you saying like, oh, come on, you don't have to ask that, and refusing to say yes or no, that makes me feel less credible in you, and that I can't stand that, because I love what you guys do, and I don't want to be. We're all in this space here, doing our best to not be grifted. We're all terrified of fucking these grifters and trying to be, and just, you know, we want to have honest actors, and you guys are, and so is Aaron, and so is Brianna. And even if that's what you, and even if you don't think that's what Jackson Hinkle is, or Tucker Carlson, or Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're still people, and in fact, they're people with a platform. You know who they are only because they've made it there. So, like, you're not gonna do anything by just stepping out of the conversation or not. And the thing, you're not doing that. There's no point, because you brought it up. The entire, whether or not you think that it had this thing you were asking Aaron, all the things you were asking about Aaron had to do with all this. There's just so much more constructive work to be done, and I'm really looking forward to the documentary work you guys are doing. I'm really looking forward to it. But goddamn, I know as soon as I'm stopped streaming, I'm gonna remember like 3 things that I meant to say and forgot, but. All right, folks. That is pretty much the stream for today. I'm gonna go. Um, I'm probably gonna go do what Gavin says he often does after a stream. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah. Sorry that this stream was not really. This is the first stream where I've actually just tried to focus on something like this that isn't really a local or just. Not actually, that's not. Oh, see, I gotta just stop talking, right? Because that's when we contradict ourselves. And I just try to start speaking broadly about anything. Once you try to speak broadly about anything, it doesn't work out. That's the thing. That's what Aaron kept bringing up. Is like, if you have a specific example, I can talk about it. But oh, this is the first like just response based thing to like another, you know, outlet, I suppose. But yeah, midterm season's chugging along, baby. In fact, it's fucking. So many things are happening, man. Just going crazy. All right. I love all you. I love you all. And I all love. And I love all. You love all. You. All of you love. I do. I do a lot. Thanks, man. Good. Do you think it was good? Oh, in the living room? On the TV? Oh god. Oh god. Yeah, I know. I know 100%. Hmm. Okay. That makes it. I was worried you were about to say that you went back and you still didn't like understand it that much, but yeah, I know. Out of all context, it doesn't really make sense, and I don't. Yeah, yeah. This was a very. I wanted to. Well, here's the thing. I don't know. Thinking about shit. I'm like, what am I gonna talk about? And then literally just in the last couple hours, I hopped on this other live stream that was going on by this Vanguard channel, and I'm like in their Discord and shit, and like they're kind of a small channel. They have like maybe